it's your girl Chanel, and we're back with another episode of Music Talk. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by and checking me out. If you are returning, thank you for coming back to my channel. Before we get started, did you like my shirt? My girl Shantae, aka Jazz Sticks, has started a new business and she is selling these t-shirts. My passion is not my hobby. If you are in the Atlanta area, you can stop by Moods Music to pick yourself up one. If you are not in the Atlanta area, you can order them online. I will place the link down below. Now, let's get into this video for today. We're talking about how you can book a gig and keep getting booked for that gig. There are 5 easy tips for you to achieve that. Now, here's the first tip. And this first tip happens before you even head off to the rehearsal, okay? When you are approached about a possible gig, the first thing you need to do is look at your calendar. Do not book a gig without knowing if you are able to fully commit to the gig. So many times we jump the gun. Oh yeah, I got you, girl. I can sing backup for your show, or I can play for your show. And then you realize later on that, oh, I already was booked for that day, or I'm not able to do that for whatever reason. Make sure that you are available before you fully commit to a gig. And also, if something comes up and you are unable to fulfill your commitment, let that person know immediately. Like the minute you find out. For example, I agreed to do a gig that was happening this past Thursday. Unfortunately, I did not know at the time that my rehearsal at the church that I work at was starting back up on that same Thursday. The moment I found out, I was like, hey, I just realized I can't make that gig. I'm so sorry. You know, I let them know immediately so they can find a replacement. Don't wait till the last minute. The minute you find out that you are unable for that gig, make sure you let somebody know. Number 2, once you receive the sheet music or the recording of the music, you need to begin practicing almost immediately. Don't use rehearsal time to practice. There is a difference between practice and rehearsal. Practice is what you do individually on your own to work out pitches, to work out rhythms. Rehearsal is where everyone comes together and they just fix little nuances throughout the music. Rehearsal is not the time to practice your notes. Unacceptable. The moment you get that sheet music or the recording, you need to be reading it through, marking your score, or listening to your part. So when the rehearsal comes up, you are ready to go. That is called professionalism in our industry. Practice before you rehearse. Number 3, be on time. There is a saying, and you might know it. And in case you don't know it, I'm going to say it again. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. And to be late is unacceptable. You must be on time for both rehearsal and gig. Give yourself at the very least 15 minutes before the rehearsal and the gig. So you're able to come in, you know where to go, you're able to set up your instrument if need be, you're able to warm up if need be, and you are in place when the rehearsal begins or when the gig begins. Don't be that person straggling in. Oh, where are we at? What are we doing? What's going on? You look super unprofessional coming in at the time of the rehearsal or gig and looking around like, what are we doing? Get there with enough time so you know exactly what to do. You know exactly where you're supposed to be, and we can get this thing going. Number 4, be sure you have reliable transportation. If you don't drive yourself, you need to look into a taxi, look into an Uber, or down here in Atlanta, we have the MARTA system, the train or the buses. Transportation is your obligation. It's not the person that is doing this gig. It's not your best friend. It's not the drummer. It's not the lead singer's job to get you to the gig on time. And if you need a ride from somebody, let them know well in advance. I'm not talking about rehearsals at 5 o'clock and you're calling so-and-so at 4:30 like, oh, by the way, on your way to rehearsal, can you pick me up? What? Who does that? Unprofessionals do that. If you are trying to be a gigging musician, you have to be able to get to the gig and to the rehearsal on your own without depending on anybody else. And the last tip I have for you is this. Make sure you have all the information pertaining to this gig. You need to know where you need to be, on what date, at what time, what you need to wear, what you need to bring as far as equipment. Will there be a drum set at the location, or should I bring my own drum set? Will there be a piano there, or should I bring my board with me? You also need to know if and how much you will be compensated. So many times we take on gigs and we get disappointed at the end when we either get less than we thought we were going to get or we get nothing at all. You need to know up front. When said person invites you to perform for a gig, you need to ask them, how much am I getting paid? Or better yet, give them your rate. As a gigging musician, you should always have some type of rate. Whatever your rate is, let them know or ask them how much they are willing to compensate you for. And another thing, sidebar conversations, for those of you who are booking these gigs for these musicians, if you say you're going to pay them, two things. You need to pay them, and you need to pay them when you say you're going to pay them. Don't be like, oh, after the gig, I got you next week. Excuse you? If y'all didn't know, most musicians, myself included, we do this for a living. That means the money we make from our gigs, we use to pay our bills. Don't be talking about, I got you in 2 weeks. No, rent is due tomorrow. I need that money right now. I was banking on that money to pay my rent, and now you're holding me back because you don't want to pay me on time. Also, churches, pastor, bishop, this is for you. Your church musician, this is their job. They deserve your utmost respect, and you need to pay them on time. Now, ask yourself, pastor, if your check wasn't on time, how would you feel? Hello, somebody. Musicians don't need to be getting paid food when they come in and they rehearse and they play for you and they back you up and they travel an hour away. When you go out of town to preach and they're there for you, you need to pay these musicians. I've heard too many stories from church musicians like, man, they didn't pay me this week, or they were short my check this week. That is ridiculous. This is our livelihood. We need to get paid on time and the correct amount. Well, that's all the tips I have for you today on how you can book a gig and keep getting booked for that gig. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? On your way out, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and share this video if you think it would help somebody else. You all take care, keep getting those gigs, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Stop post-dating checks. That is so unprofessional and ratchet.